on all things mobile as the world has shifted towards researching and consuming information in short bursts of mobile search. It's also one of the first Google Partner expert panels on the advertising community platform, and we welcome not only your questions and feedback on the content that we're presenting, but also on the format as we optimize for mobile consumption of this and future information, and while we experiment with delivery formats. Whether you are attending the panel live today or maybe reviewing Hangout on Air recording at a later time. We have 3 Google Partner English advertising community experts, each presenting a mobile-related topic that comes up on our clients' radar today. And Michael Blackmore, he is a Google Partner expert, rising star, and CEO of Big Click in Edmonton, Alberta. Mike Johnston, owner of Specialized Digital Marketing, Google Partner expert, and Google Small Business Advisor on the panel today, as well as myself, Julia Muller, Google Partner contributor and paid search director at ThinkCube, a full-service digital marketing agency. Let's jump right into the presentation of 3 ways to win on mobile. I'll start. What I wanted to present today is a real-life campaign experience, a very typical agency scenario when a client comes to us with a suboptimal website, and we run a proof of concept, and we try to understand whether or not there is search demand that this client might be able to capture before we redesign their mobile website, before we have a chance to accumulate considerable budget and understand, have reasonable expectations going in as to how to build a website and where their consumer might be. Not only what their consumer is looking to find, but also which device they are looking to access this client's website. So the example I'm using today is quite representative of what happens to us a lot. This particular one is a one-store brick-and-mortar retailer. They retail from the store. They don't do e-commerce. They are a lead generation client who never had an advertising, who never ran a performance advertising campaign before. So there is proof of concept. There is all kinds of finding out what it might be like for them and how much money they might need to make this happen. Let me switch my deck, as I have a few screenshots without sharing sensitive information from this client. I do have a few screenshots to illustrate what a campaign, an AdWords campaign, can do for a client like that. So let me share my screen, and I'll get you through the slides here. One moment. Okay, so three ways to win on mobile is the topic today. Winning on mobile with AdWords while your site is suboptimal, real-life campaign experience is the focus of what I'd like to present. There is a few ways that this advertiser's website is suboptimal for mobile. For the mobile user. However, one of the things that might be quite familiar for a lot of AdWords advertisers is this client's website does not pass page speed insights test, be that on mobile or desktop. So what we did here is what a lot of agencies do, and that seems to be working quite successfully for a lot of us out there, as well as in this particular example, is we've built landing pages for the client. Whether or not you use third-party software or you build them yourself, the key here is really building mobile optimized experience and thinking mobile first as we do that. So to give you an example, this is what mobile pages look like now for the client, while this advertiser's account has been serving about 3 months. A little bit on and off at some point, so there is about 2.5 months of data that we can look at and decide where their prospect is, what device they're on, and what it is that they're looking for. So what happens from that moment on is really same AdWords optimization rules apply. Thankfully, AdWords platform is built the way that landing page experience is uber important, and for AdWords campaigns is more important than what the advertiser's website looks like. However, we built landing pages that are mobile optimized. Those are not AMP pages. They're not mobile. They're mobile responsive. And those pages are not closed loop. They're actually connected to the advertiser website. So if a prospect feels that they need more information beyond landing page, they can travel on, they can click through to the advertiser website and experience and find information that way. So landing pages are fast, as you could see, and mobile responsive. AdWords has to be set up correctly as we go through trying to optimize for click-through, for ad rank, and obviously one of the things that I wanted to make sure I bring up again is the unique selling proposition of this advertiser, so that while we might be able to achieve high click-through rates, we also don't want those clicks to bounce right back. We want those clicks to stick around and convert. Mobile bid has to be adequate in this scenario, and obviously budget needs to be sufficient. Talking about budget, this advertiser did not have a very high budget, even though it's a location that generates about $3.5 million annually. They did not feel like testing with too high a budget, so we started with approximately $1,700 for 3 months. What happened here, to give you background a little bit for those who may not be as familiar with AdWords auditing, one of the biggest factors, or one of the biggest ways we figure out whether or not an advertiser campaign is successful and the health of the account is by looking at the quality scores and the distribution of those quality scores of keywords. So there's a bit of information on this slide, but what needs to be understood is that most of the keywords, namely 98% of the keywords, are distributed between 7, 8, and 10 quality score, and $1,700 was spent on this campaign, which resulted in 30 unique leads generated over the course of 3 months. Each one of them at the AdWords cost of $60 each, expected to generate about $470 in revenue each. Just to give you a little snapshot of what the account looks like, this is the keywords screen that is sorted in terms of impressions, and you can see the quality scores highlighted, the cost per conversion, and the number of converted clicks. It is important to understand that not only this account is a high quality account, because we all know that when quality scores are high, you end up paying less compared to your competition per click, which results in lower cost per conversion. This is also very much a high performance account from the advertiser's standpoint of view, because what they've gotten is 30 unique leads, which, as you can see, when segmented by device, we see that about 60% of them were either phone calls to the client or considered to be a conversion, or they were form fills. Now, 17% were on tablet and 26% on desktop. We know that differentiating bids between tablet and desktop is not yet available, but as we anticipate that bid differentiation to become available in some near future, we need to be mindful of how many of this advertisers' prospects are also on tablet as well as on desktop. So 1 out of 4 of this advertiser's prospects are on desktop. Everyone else is on a sort of a mobile device, which tells us the website advertiser site needs to be built mobile first, and this is the proof that we can furnish to back that hypothesis. 1,700 was just above 1,700 was spent, and the estimated revenue generated from those 30 unique leads should be just over $14,000. Basically, what we have here is a proof of concept that mobile pages, mobile landing pages, can propel a non-mobile advertiser to success. There's a little bit of a caveat, as you can see I put in there, and that success is somewhat short-term, as we advise every one of our clients not to focus solely on search engine marketing and on getting paid clicks, but also pay great attention and spend and invest in the long-term optimization of their websites in terms of organic search optimization. That said, I am at the end of my presentation. I guess I will click out of the presentation momentarily, and I'll pass the I'll stop sharing, and I'll pass the baton to Mike Blackmore, who has the next topic of our panel, unless there is questions coming in.
Well, I was curious what sort of product it is that your client was selling.
The product is relatively expensive home improvement as well as leisure item category, without disclosing too much. Does that help, Mike? Mike Johnston?
All right, Julia, thank you very much for your awesome insight and some great tips. I mean, I love saving money, so quality scores are high. That helps me save money. So thanks for sharing that with us. All right, I'm going to get started on my part of the presentation, and it's fairly new out there, so some of you may or may not be using this. I would highly encourage, if you're not, to quickly after this presentation get out there and get some of these set up and just see how they look. From experience, I can tell you this is how they look. But more importantly, I've actually used some of these for some clients already, and the automotive specific. And some things I'm seeing out of here is just basically more real estate. So if you're a big fan of real estate on mobile, then you're going to love this price extension. Now, I said automotive, but it can be used across any industry, and there's some good examples out there, and I'll share those links in the description for everybody after the presentation. So just kind of how to set them up and what they are. I'm just going to go back a slide here. And it's basically shows information about products and services, and as you can see from the screenshot, it's hard to see the other ads. So you know, there's a little bittersweet to this. Is, you know, being in first position will definitely reward you However, I do have a feeling that first position may become a little more expensive or lucrative because I think this is what everyone would want to experience. So that's why I said it's kind of bittersweet. So setting them up is just like any other ad extension that you guys have in your account. You can set them at the campaign level, the ad group level. They're very new, so I'd say just kind of get in there and push the envelope a bit, but kind of have a little thought process when you're going to set these up. So, you know, thinking of things like your header, which will be the clickable title on the actual price extension. Then you also get another 25 characters and a price that could be qualified to the right of that, as you can see on my screen here. The description field, very similar to the search text ads, where you can just utilize a little snippet to kind of, you know, it says here wash and wax premium options available, so just kind of it would reinforce your product a little bit more. Also, you can use it for a price field, and then each one of them will also be assigned their final URL, so you'd be able to track these a lot easier from the price extension. I've seen things, you know, people using these for limited time promotions, for rolling price increases, for, you know, things like events, and you can schedule sales, things like that with these really nicely. A couple eligibility details are they can only be shown on mobile. They're only going to be available in English at this point, and most importantly, I think the only ad in the top position is eligible for price extensions at this point. So this is why I imagine these extensions with their user-friendly detail and advertiser-friendly real estate will become exceedingly popular and drive up competition and prices on mobile. Now, I'm just going to jump out of this and kind of just speak to you about what I'm finding just firsthand in some of these. I'll stop. All right, there we go. I made it out, Julia. I was a little concerned if I would make it back out, so here I am. A few things that you could use it is, you know, neighborhood specific. So if you advertise in a city and you have multiple locations, you could say, you know, Castle Downs or the neighborhood or community specific where your location is. And I think that would be a lot more relevant when people see that ad. As things get more and more personalized out there, this is just another little, you know, way holistically that you could personalize your ad and speak directly to the consumer or the potential customer. With these, there's a lot of advantages to having the price extension in conjunction with all the other extensions out there that are available. For sure, if you want to set this up properly, I would definitely recommend creating at least 5 or more. You do need to use a different URL for each row. If you only have one available, that's fine. You can use the same landing page for each one. They won't be disapproved. They can also have 25 characters per header and 25 characters per description. So if you think about that, you've really got 50 characters to kind of speak about your product, which is all bonus, right? Because that sits below all your other extensions and your main ad copy. So that's like awesome, right? I really like this feature. As you can tell, I'm pretty excited about it. And as reporting becomes available, there's definitely lots of ways that you can track and measure these to see if they're actually making a difference to your performance. And other than that, I would just say get out there, play with them, push the limits like any other extension that they ever introduced to us, and find a way that it goes into your day-to-day ad building and really take advantage of it before all your competitors do. That's all I had really about this. I'm going to pass this on to Mike Johnston now, where he'll go into a little bit more, I believe, about the SMS text feature. Thank you.
I have a question. Before we move on to Mike Johnston, I was wondering, these are a search campaign, right?
Yeah, they are search text ads only, so they are not on display or at this point.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks, Mike.
No problem.
Hi there. Well, as you can see, I am outside, and I am a big fan of mobile and video, so this is a good way to do it for me. And I'm using, actually, I'm on the cellular network. I'm not even on Wi-Fi on an iPhone 6s with just a Logitech headset, so it seems to work pretty well that way. And I was going to talk about call-only ads today, and call-only ads are pretty new. and they tie in well with Julia's subject of non-optimized websites. Call-only ads are great because you don't have to go to your website. They go only to a phone call, so they're basically intended for mobile devices only that can do click-to-call. And basically, you set them up like any other search ad. You include your phone number, and the phone number has to be verified. And the way they do that is you give Google a URL to a page on your website that has your phone number on it, and then it's verified. I think they're really awesome personally, but I can also see the potential that they're not going to work for everybody. That may be obvious, but even some people that you think they might work for, such as we were talking earlier, and I mentioned a pizza place. And, a pizza place is selling a product, and they take loads of mobile orders, but at the same time, the product is pretty cheap. A pizza is, what, $8–10? So if you can't get a conversion at a price point that is going to work with an $8 to $10 product, then they're not going to work. On the other hand, they can also work in the same kind of way that the sort of beta SMS ads are intended to work, because since this is tied to a phone, ideally, you're mobile, you could also just throw a line in there in the ad copy saying call or text us for more information. And I've been using them for a home builder who was running search ads, and they weren't seeing what they considered to be a good sort of conversion out of it. And obviously building a home is not something you click on an ad and you commit to right there, at least for 99% of the people, I'm sure. So it's kind of a process. And they wanted to see something where they could see exactly what happened with every click, and I mentioned the call only ads, and they thought that was really great. So we've been running them for about 2 months, and they're working actually pretty well. I mean, they don't get a lot of calls, but they might get 2 or 3 a week, and they know exactly what they paid for and the outcome of the click, because it comes right to them. They talk to the person, they know the outcome, so they're actually really happy with them. And that was kind of all I was going to say. Anybody else want to jump in?
Mike, I was wondering, I don't know how many of your clients, where they are geographically. Do you see when the call-only ads could be a function of a geographic preference?
Well, I mean, if you're looking at a local business, the amount of local competitors running the same sort of ad could certainly affect the price. If you have limited competition and therefore limited people competing for the ad space, could help your price.
I see. What I have a few clients in one vertical that are running call-only ads, and what we noticed here is that what happens with a few, now they're dispersed throughout through the 50 states, and of course in some cases call-only ads do not work due to geographic preference of the prospect not call but rather to fill out a form. We are in the same sector, and those landing pages and campaigns that we are running for them are quite similar in many ways, but what we've determined is that geographically some prospects prefer to call while others prefer to fill out a form when it is a lead gen campaign. Do you notice that?
Yeah, sure. Some people are and some people would rather go to the website and browse, and not do anything right away. So, that ties back into your mention of non-optimized websites and just optimizing a single page, because you'd almost have to have it be a crush page where people can't go from the landing page to anywhere else. You know what I mean? Or it defeats the whole idea.
I've got a question for Julia and Mike, both for yourselves. Are you guys noticing an uptick in the near me searches for mobile, since you're talking about the quality score for optimizing the site, and Mike, you're talking more specifically about a feature mobile specific. With call only, would you see a lot of people bidding on like terms like dealerships near me, coffee shops near me, hotels near me, just anything using that word near me? Are you seeing an uptick as well? Because we are certainly up here in Canada.
I know.
I was going to say, interestingly, I kind of got on board with that whole idea, and I bought a URL called Deliveries Near Me, and I built a little website around it, and it was only supposed to be a local service, but I never really did anything with it, but I took the site down. Now it's not even there anymore. But in the time that it was up, which was about a year, I was consistently getting 1 or 2 calls every week, and not just from the local area, but from like all over the country. And I actually ran a couple errands for people who called, just because it was something to do, and I was testing it out. So yeah, definitely, I say there's a lot of people searching for that kind of service.
I did notice, Mike Blackmore, to answer your question. There is an uptick, if I can call an uptick, from 0 to something. Okay. Because even though near me and with all the publicity for the near me searches, I was expecting to see a few more for our clients, wherever they are, to see a few more near me searches come through on search term reports, and I haven't been seeing them until very recently, and now finally I do see that there is demand, or somehow it is connected to the keywords, the set of keywords we're using, and we're now able to start targeting those and get decent quality scores for them, and there is some click-through on them. But it's very, very recent. I'm going to probably put 6 months, as recent as 6 months on that, on seeing those near-me searches.
The reason why I ask is I think I could be just guessing, but I do think that a lot of people are going to be doing that type of search with voice more than typing. I think just being on their mobile, as people start to use the voice more and more, I do think that would be something that everybody should have on their radar. Like you said, I'm not sure if it's taken off completely like they've said yet, but it's still something we're pretty mindful as we watch it, and I am seeing that from a paid standpoint increase, definitely as one of the top movers in the last 3 to 4 months. So I just thought I'd ask your guys' opinion.
We do not work with car dealerships, though, so that's your prerogative.
Yeah, that could be an industry thing, absolutely. All right.
All right. Well, it looks like we've covered all the questions we have. We welcome questions as in comment format once this panel in a Hangout on Air recording will be published on the Google Advertising Community platform. And it's a wrap.